Two new LEGO Star Wars sets releasing August 1st, themed around the Mandalorian, were just revealed, and the biggest of the two is the Offworld Sandcrawler and Mudhorn set. This will retail for $200 with 1,683 pieces and 5 minifigures. And yeah, I find this to be the more interesting set of the two. This is the first time that we're getting a minifigure scale Sandcrawler since 2018, which the proportions on this one is so much better. That one still looks so dumpy and strange. This is of course different because this is the Offworld Sandcrawler. So we have a gray color scheme, which is unlike any other LEGO Sandcrawler. What's interesting is that if you look at the art from the end credits, it looks like the gray here. But if you look at it in the show, it could pass as brown, to the point where the advent calendar coming out this year has a build of an Offworld Sandcrawler, and it has the brown color scheme. So LEGO could have went either way with this, but yeah, I think the Sandcrawler in gray is distinct. The design here actually has a character from the new advent calendar, which is the Offworld Jawa. You could see this specific one with the two straps is the same one from that set. But what I find really interesting is that LEGO actually made 3 distinct torso prints for the Jawas in the set. So that's kind of cool that they actually give a unique one for each of those. This has a new Mandalorian, Din Djarin design, where it's the same one from the UCS Razor Crest with all the arm printing and stuff like that, but it has this mud covered up on it, and I think that looks really cool. I like getting the dirty versions of characters. I'm thinking back to like Toy Story 3. Grogu is the same new design, which has no Beskar armor, which we found in that AT-ST set, as well as the N1, that is the UCS version we just got. And you can also see how the set includes some of those blue cookies. The Pram build is simple and effective, and you get the, as I call him, this is the way guy, which was the same one from the UCS Razor Crest, like down to a T. So it's nice to get this in a much cheaper set. So I think the price of that's going to go down secondhand for those who just want that character. As somebody who fell off of The Mandalorian on the second half of season 2, I recognize this right away because this is from the second episode of the series. So they really went back for this despite a lot of movie sets this year. So it's cool to see this specific build, which we haven't gone before. The interior images show a control cockpit where you could fit at least 3 Jawa. Maybe you could squeeze a 4th one there. These parts, which you could twist around to open up that front of the Sandcrawler, and how those treads can rotate. The interior section towards the back right there, which you can see has a lot of scraps going on. Seemingly the control panel and this piece are 2 stickered pieces. And also notice how they have that new design of the crater piece that we got in LEGO City this summer for the first time in this reddish brown color. So it's nice to see that piece in that color. You know, I'm getting some Bionicle vibes there. I like the sails, which seem to be that thin plastic kind of film piece. Though admittedly, these little stud shooters look like an awkward addition. You could easily remove those though. And the build for the Mudhorn is cute. You could see that the design uses a new eyepiece, which we also get a Mudhorn in the advent calendar, but it's a much smaller scale. If you're a price for piece ratio person, this isn't the set for you. It's $200 for 1,683 pieces. Judging by the size, yeah, I mean, this is something I would expect to be $150 10 years ago. But LEGO is pretty expensive these days. Will I get this? No, but I think this is actually a cool addition to the Star Wars lineup where a few sets really stand out to me. Speaking of which, I'm sorry, this AT-AT doesn't do much for me. This is based off of the first scene from the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that just released. The official name is the Imperial Remnant AT-AT with INT-4. This also releases August 1st and will retail for $160 for 1,453 pieces and 7 minifigures. The most interesting parts to me is that this has the INT-4 for the first time in LEGO, which is based off of a Kenner toy of all things that is appearing in the movie. That's kind of cool to see that translated to LEGO form. And the minifigures. The Imperial Remnant Snowtroopers have a new helmet piece that looks really cool. What's funny is that there was like a promotional animation that was released recently, and the eyes looked weird in that animation, but they're fine here. Oh, and you get 2 identical copies of that minifigure in this set. The Snowtrooper is technically new because it has the torso and legs of the Imperial Remnant Snowtroopers. The AT-AT driver is new because it goes back to white for the color scheme when we had a lot of sand blue for the color scheme, I think since 2010. So it's nice to see that new helmet, torso, and legs. The Warlord is new. I like seeing that older face print on that tan skin color. We don't really see that often for that skin color. His torso and legs are new prints as well. The Mando's the generic one that we saw in sets even earlier this year. Grogu is the new updated one that was introduced with the other movie sets. This time, once again, without the Beskar armor, which is nice to get, because I like that version more than the Beskar armor version. I think I'm just being hard on the AT-AT because I'm sick of AT-ATs. I feel like we get a lot, but I mean, look, we haven't gotten a regular minifigure scale one since 2020. To be fair, this isn't the same Empire Strikes Back one that we see ever so often. This is the prototype one that was introduced in Rebels and we saw in Jedi Fallen Order, which we've never gotten as a Lego set. So it's cool to see that as a Lego set. That head is very different from the Empire Strikes Back one. That middle section can hold a couple minifigures, but can also hold the INT-4 pretty compactly, which it makes for a pretty slick escape pod where you could fold out the wings. I like that build the most out of all of these. That front head has a missile launcher. It seems like the very front uses a stickered piece right here for that windscreen. You have some adjustable turrets at the side. There's also more stickers on these 2x4s, which awkwardly look like a different color than the gray that they're on. The design has some rotation at the base there, and then you could have some movement with the knees as well, which I like. And there's even a little speeder vehicle. And that speeder vehicle fits snugly at the back. Like there's even two 1x2 jumper plates to secure it. Like, if I had to be honest, I think this is a better value than the Sandcrawler, even though I'm more drawn to the Sandcrawler. At $160, even though it's not the best price per piece ratio with 1,453 pieces, this just has a lot more going on with its minifigures and with the play that you get from this set. I mean, look, there's 3 vehicles in here. Keep in mind that these 2 sets released with that Hutt Sentry Droid set that we saw revealed a couple weeks ago, all of which are on August 1st. If you need a quick refresher, that set is $50 with 415 pieces, so also not a great price per piece ratio. Seeing all these sets, I'm kind of sad we don't have adult Rhoda. That character just had a really fun design in my opinion. I don't know if they would do it brick built or just like a specialized mold like Jabba. Let me know in the comments if you were to buy one of these 3 Star Wars releases for August 1st, which one you'd get. I'd get the Sandcrawler. Subscribe here for more LEGO news and commentary, and I'll see you later. Peace out.